Hello! Okay, so we are back for part 2 of this Protection Magic podcast, and we're actually going to stay on topic this time. For sure, we won't be talking about cursed cities and God knows what else we were talking about. I don't even remember, but since we have a part 2, we'll be able to elaborate a little bit more on curse breaking, specifically witch jars, and wards. We didn't even cover wards in the last one. Wards are super important. Wards can be defined as a few different things, I'm pretty sure. My wards are usually, I do a lot of coins. So, like, I'll pump in, like, protection magic to say, a dime or a penny. I usually use dimes. I like dimes better. I like that they're silver. But a lot of people use penny wards, and you put one in each corner of your property, and they're pretty effective.
They're really effective.
I mean, what I've noticed is they will get weak if I leave for extended periods of time. Like when I'm at when I go to school in the fall, I noticed that like the protections break down. They decay pretty rapidly when I'm not around. That might also be the astral shield, because the astral shield is just energy. It's not tethered to anything in the physical realm.
It's tethered to basically
just your energy.
Just you.
Yeah. Which, if you are not familiar with the astral, can also be defined as several things, I suppose. I just kind of view it as like another dimension that kind of attaches all parallel worlds and stuff, all different dimensions. It's kind of attached to dreamland, which is where you go when you dream. It's all very confusing. And there are also different layers of it. And there are also different, there are like 7 different layers of the universe. I don't know. I haven't dug that deep into it.
I mean, me neither, and I've been doing it since I was
Chan has been jumping into the astral since she was like 14, 13.
Yeah, 14.
And I just recently started, so I'm certainly no expert. But I know that it's a dimension that consists mainly of energy. Like, there's no physical... I mean... There isn't, not like how we're physical. Like, we have a physical body. That doesn't exist in the astral. And then most creatures, like dragons, let's see, a lot of mythical creatures that most people don't think are real are entities that exist in the astral. And we can see them sometimes, because if they're powerful enough, they can manifest on the physical realm, especially if you have your third eye open.
Yeah, definitely.
Open as heck. Then you can see them. And I don't think ghosts... I mean, the ghosts are energy, but I don't necessarily think that they, like, go walking around the astral.
No, I've never really seen them in the astral, but I kind of stayed away from graveyards.
Oh, Keet goes into graveyards.
Oh, yeah, no, she's
Mihir. We call her Keet. Lion Mother, Mihir, Keet. She has all kinds of names.
Yeah.
We could have an entire... podcast about that. That would be a super interesting topic.
Yeah,
just us telling our stories of what we've seen. I usually just hang out in the mental plane, which also has many definitions. There's a lot of things in magic because people have so many different opinions. It's so incredibly old. Like, the definition for demons, for example, I personally have 3 completely different definitions for demon. And it depends on your perspective which one you're going to use.
Yeah.
Some people can get really stubborn about that. I try not to be stubborn, obviously.
Yeah. When I think demons, I just think straight up spirits because, like, I don't know. It's something it's not even, like, the Christian coming in me. It's kind of, like, the way I experience stuff and the way I learn stuff. Because I learned, because when I was little, I would just, like, watch anime a lot.
Yeah, you'd watch anime.
Meant simply spirits. It could be anything.
Yeah, and in I think in Cometicism,
it's the same thing.
That's like they're just weaker spirits. They're just like, it doesn't necessarily mean malevolent. It can mean, like, I think the demons, it's kind of like a corporate ladder.
Yeah, I learned.
Interestingly enough, what was that book that we read? Where did you learn that? Was that
I don't remember.
Was that the book I checked out? It was, because I checked out one recently. It was God, what was it? Oh, it was a guide to the Egyptian religion.
Something like that.
Yeah, that might have been That might have been where we read it.
Yeah, and it said that demons were basically just servants of the gods.
Yeah, and they could kind of, like, do things to get better, to, like, kind of become gods themselves. Yeah. Now, and then if you look at the esoteric way of thinking, they believe that demons are a race of all things evil, angels are a race of all things good, and that the angels defeated the demons, and if you work with... And now, esoteric is a very vague word. I know that it might be, like, hermetic way of thinking. I should be better at this. I should not just be vomiting up these words and references.
With my Christian background, demons were the bad. They were the fallen angels.
But in some ways of thinking, they are not fallen angels, but a different race, and they were defeated by said angels, so angels control them, and through working with angels and gods, then you will eventually gain the ability to control the demons. And I actually, if you would like to borrow a book, I have a book called The Diary of the Ceremonial Magician. It was written in the 70s. It was this guy's personal diary about about a rite that he went through. Oh, I should know this better. I think it's called... I forget what the rite is called. I can look it up right now, but we aren't talking about that. We're talking about protection magic now, aren't we? And back on the topic of, like, so many people have their different definitions. The term ward, for example, has many definitions. Yeah. Some people just view it as, like, in Skyrim, how you, like, put, or, like, at any other, like, MMO, how you, like, put up a shield of energy in front of you. Some people view that as a ward. Now, I'm just like, they can both be wards. They can be a protective... I get the impression that it, like, a ward for me is kind of like a shield or, like, a beacon that makes things not able to get through, or, like, is a light that wards them off. Yeah. Like, that's kind of what a ward means to me. Like, I wouldn't really call, like, well, I guess you could define a witch ball as, like, a ward, but it's not really repelling. It's taking it in and cleansing. So it's a different kind of protection. Wards are for specifically preventing things from getting in and driving things off.
Yeah, basically, like, I don't know, a wall.
Yeah, like a wall. Like, that's how I imagine mine all the time. And that's how I imagine my astral bubble. It's just like a dome around my house. Yeah, that's how it's not super strong, and if I leave for extended periods of time, like several weeks or months at a time, it will deteriorate mine, rapidly.
Like, mine kind of comes around with me, so when I'm away from the house, anything can get in.
Oh, yeah.
But because, like, Keith's there, it's perfectly fine right now.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. Like, I noticed when I left for college, like, my first few weeks in college, after that I came back, and there was, like, it was like if a fortress had its walls broken down and fallen, that's what my house felt like, because there were because all of those wards had decayed so rapidly without me here. I think you and Keith even came in to my house once, and you were like, what happened? Yeah. Why is the energy so weird in here? And I'm like, because there's no protection. Now, there were still some basic things, warding things, but since I wasn't there, they disappeared pretty dang fast. Meanwhile, in my dorm room, it was ridiculously challenging to protect that, because I had 5 roommates, which is a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of people living in, like, an apartment.
Yeah, it looked cramped as fuck.
It wasn't as bad as you would think it would be. I mean, they left me alone, which was good, because I'm a pretty solitary person. But yeah, I shared a room with, like, 2 girls, and they both snored. And it was tough. And that room was maybe only a little bit bigger than the one that we're in now.
I wouldn't be able to go anywhere without, like... Because Keith, like, always has the fan on.
Yeah.
And I always have to have my cat sleeping with me, too. I would not be able to sleep there without a fan on and my cat.
Oh, the beds were so uncomfortable. They were so ridiculously uncomfortable. Like, but you got used to it so fast. Also, there was, like, the fabric, I guess, they used on the mattress. It caused everything to slip off. So I got really used to just, like, having my pillows slip off the bed. Like, just, like, waking up with, like, my head just, like, ramming against my bookshelf. Like, Like, because there was no pillow buffer. It was just, like, I'd wake up and I'd, like, have knocked over, like, all of my books on the shelf. They'd all just flop over. And it was, I blessed that dorm room, like, 3 times. And it would work for a while. Oh, interesting. Here's a funny story. I did make a jar spell with the intention of protecting my dorm. And my defenses got really weak really fast. And I was like it worked for a while, and then it started, like, decaying rapidly. I felt like things were deliberately coming into my dorm, like, more rapidly, which, I mean, they're drawn to the movement of energy in most entities, so that, since I was doing witchcraft very subtly, that isn't shocking at all. But I was just like, what the heck happened? I'm working so hard to ward this place. It turned out my jar had gotten moldy.
Oh.
It had gotten moldy, and it was decaying and disgusting. And I was like, this explains why my defenses decayed so rapidly, was because I let this thing get moldy. Because I didn't have a lid to the jar I was using, so I just covered it with cloth.
Oh.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a jar that was sealed properly with, like, wax and stuff. It was a jar that was sealed with a piece of blue cloth because I couldn't find a lid.
Tape would probably be better.
Oh, tape would have been better. I mean, a piece of wood, I don't even know. But I had, like, just moved in. Like, I threw that together, like, the first 3 weeks I was there. And it got so bad eventually because, like, people were dragging in their energy, and obviously I was the only one doing anything to cleanse them, to cleanse this dorm room. And so I gave up eventually, and I just started warding my little areas because I was like, I put sigils. I used a lot of sigils. I almost forgot to mention that, but protection sigils have been some of my most tried and true methods of protection magic I have ever used. I have 4 of them on my door right now.
Yeah, I need some protection sigils.
Oh, you could just copy those ones because I think one of them, like, prevents negative energy from getting in here. Like, it's so interesting. So we have this friend. Should we, Tristan? Should we use that for her real name?
You just can call her my kid.
Your kid?
Yeah, my kid.
Oh, wait, should we have a nickname for her? Because she's probably going to be on the show one of these days.
Alright.
We call her KB.
Yeah, we could call her KB.
Okay, so we have a friend, KB, whose real name we're not using, because we don't know if she'd be comfortable with us using it. But KB is not a witch, but KB sees ghosts, which is so cool, because I can go to a graveyard with her and be like, do you see that person? And she'll be like, yes, and we'll describe what we're seeing to each other. And it's so validating. It's like I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, you guys see the same thing at the same time. I usually don't like to see anything.
Yeah, Liz closes her third eye. She's like, fuck this shit. I don't want to see anything.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about me. I just never like seeing ghosts or anything.
Oh my god, I love seeing everything around me. It makes me... This is really funny, but back to Pokemon Go again. Like, when I see them on my camera and on my phone, but I don't sense their energy because they're not real, it squicks me out. Like, it's like, it weirds me out because I see it on my phone and my body is like, there should be energy there, but there isn't because it's literally an image on a phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it like, at first I had to get, like, acclimated to it. It was so weird because I'm so used to not seeing things with my physical eyes and being able to still tell it's there. When I see things with my physical eye and I can't see the energy, that weirds me out. But yeah, me and KB, we see the same things at the same time, and we'll, like, describe it to each other, and we'll, like, hug each other like we're not insane.
Yeah.
It's really great. To have somebody around like that, because let me tell you, actually, before I had any witch friends, I was by myself, and in our high school, and there was only one other girl who was a witch, and she was like, oh, what's the term I'm looking for? She was like serious pagan TM. Like, it was like she would wear, like, all the pentacle necklaces. Yeah, she'd wear all the gemstones. She'd wear, like, really thick eyeliner and stuff, which is ironic coming from me because I have cat eyes.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's really thick. I mean, it's very popularized. Her eyeliner was very, like, not
smudged.
Yeah, very smudged. Kind of alternative. I'm thinking like Amy Lee early 2000s eyeliner.
I don't know who that is.
That's Evanescence.
Oh, Evanescence. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It did look like that.
Yeah. I know because I used to do my eyeliner like that in middle school.
Oh yeah, it was back in your goth phase.
No, more like my emo phase.
Is there a difference? I don't even know.
Yeah, there's a huge difference.
There's a huge difference?
Goths don't give a shit.
And emos are like scene kids. I don't even know. I mean, I'm such an old man.
Think scene kids are like, I'm so Tay Random.
Oh God, I was that person for a while, but very, very fleetingly.
Yeah, me too.
And also very, very young. And when I see that, I this is awful. Here's another awful joke. I see people like that on DeviantArt, and I'm like, Lord, Lord Almighty.
I think it's because we're years upon years.
Oh my God, so years. I'm trying to be like a young professional on DeviantArt.
Yeah.
Should I tell the toast story?
Sure.
Okay. So on DeviantArt, so I just set up this DeviantArt account, and I'm obviously trying to like promote myself. I'm trying very hard to be professional and stuff. I'm not like going on there with like my OCs, like, oh my God, look at my new wolf OC. If you have a wolf OC, man, keep rocking it. Keep rocking it. Keep rocking your wolf OC. But like, I don't do all like I mean, you know what I'm talking about when I talk about those youngins who make the like the wolf OCs off like the bases, and they're like neon colors and stuff. That was me in 8th grade, so I shouldn't be shitting on these people. But now I'm trying very hard to advertise myself and be a professional. And I drew a picture of Jehudi, or Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, who is a deity who's very close to my heart. I have been a devotee of him for several years. And so I drew an image of him for a prayer candle, and I put it on my DeviantArt account because I wanted to show it to people. And somebody started like role playing in the comments with me. Like he said like, oh, your art's really good, and I was like, or like he called Jehudi cute or something, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you. He is a cool guy, isn't he? And he like proceeded to try and like role play with me. And I was like, I like didn't really know how to respond. I didn't want to be mean, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I just like it's like I can't role play as like my deity. I couldn't be comfortable with that.
I feel like it's disrespectful, even though our deities are.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think Jehudi would care.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? He might care immensely, but I haven't told him, though I am looking forward to telling him. I'll admit. But I honestly don't think he would care, but I care. I care a lot. I don't want to do that. That makes me so uncomfortable. So anyway, like I tried to be as polite as possible. Like I wasn't sure if he was another Kemetic or if he was just really into the Egyptian aesthetic. I couldn't tell. So I tried to be polite, but eventually I stopped responding because I didn't really know how to respond to him. Like it ended with him like roleplay knocking on Jehudi's door with flowers, and I was like, I literally don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah. So
I just kind of stopped and proceeded. Anyway, I got a note a few days later, and he was like, and the note was like, can I date Thoth? And I'm like, Jehudi is not one of my OCs.
Yeah.
This is a deity I worship on a daily basis. Like and I believe in immensely, and I mean, I am a worshiper of Jehudi in simplest terms. Like, he is the deity I have been worshiping the longest. He is obviously extremely important to me. The biggest statue on my shrine is Jehudi, and
on the little sorry.
She just made an expression. She just like looked at me.
Okay, so you know that me promoting all your work. Because
we should probably talk about that later.
Yeah, 27 notes on it now.
Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah. Or maybe we should just like get it out of the way now.
Yeah, we could probably.
Yeah, so I mentioned how I made the Jehudi prayer candle, and we got the guy asking to date Jehudi. And I still haven't responded to him. I'm going to be as polite as I can be, but say, like, I don't really have time to roleplay my deities. Because, like, I don't know if he's another Kemetic. And obviously I don't want to be mean to him. Like, he's an innocent request, just not something I am at all comfortable with. So anyway, I am also making... Here's time to self-promote. I am making deity prayer candles. And you can request deity prayer candles. I will put my Tumblr link and my DeviantArt link in the description below. And so you can check out some of the designs I already have. I think I'm gonna charge $7.50 for them, and I do all of the art myself. I scent the candles. Actually, I paint the outsides. I make sure that they're really well done. I gave Liz one of them, and she did a review for me.
Yeah.
And
it was
hers
really well made.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of love into it. I really did. And you've heard me say this a few times. If I had all the money in the world, I'd give those things away for free. I want them to be. I really like to make people happy.
Yeah.
And like having my art on someone's altar is like a huge. It's a huge honor. Like that's like one of the greatest honors I can get.
Yeah.
So like making people smile and making people happy with my art is like one of the best feelings I can get. And I was gonna charge them for $5 actually, but I can't afford to do that. So I amped up the price to $7.50, which I'm hoping will still be affordable for people.
I mean, it's very affordable, like in comparison to a lot of things.
Yeah,
like
with our deities,
yeah,
because
our
it is
deities
kind of difficult to find.
Yeah,
if you want to if you're really into like making your shrine pretty, it can be kind of difficult to acquire nice like themed things. I know I personally go to the dollar store, and I buy things to paint for my altar, because like I bought a goblet, not really a goblet, like a wine glass for $1, and I'm painting it to use for my altar because I can't really afford a goblet.
Yeah, I got a few like my plastic little goblets for like free at a garage sale.
Oh yeah, no, I get a ton of stuff at garage sales.
Yeah.
Like most of the really cool jars I have are garage sales, and so I wanted to make the candles really affordable. I also wanted to make them really pretty. I add actual herbs to them as well as essential oils. I color them because the candles come white, and I add a little bit of color to it because I want it to look nice. I paint the outsides. I do the art myself digitally. I work really hard. I try really hard to make them special. I cleanse the energy before I start working on them as well.
We spent so much time. You literally devote like 4 to 5 full days, like from dawn to dusk.
It wasn't really. I mean, it was at least for yours because. Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, but Liz ordered a candle with custom art.
Yeah.
And so she's the only one who can use that art, and you can do that. I will do that for $20. If you want something special that only you can have, you can pay $20, and I will do custom art for you. And I will probably make the candle a little bit more special because it's a little bit more deluxe. As well as you get to have a what's the word I'm looking for? You get to have a the JPEG of the image.
Oh yeah.
You get to have the JPEG of the image unwatermarked. You can use it. You can print it out if you want. That's something you get with the custom art.
Yeah.
And stuff. And nobody else gets that art too.
It's really really nice too, especially for like any holidays.
Oh yeah.
You need some type of like thing, and you don't have any money for statues because statues are like $50, and I'm a poor college student.
Oh my god! Right.
Fuck.
Right.
And plus, like raw statues. I don't know if you have seen the prices on
No,
those
I haven't.
things.
I haven't.
They're awful. If you want a cheap, like a nice, like decently priced one, they're really cheaply made. They're like plastic, but they're like $20 for like plastic.
Yeah.
3-inch tall statue, and I'm like, I want.
Oh, I've
big.
seen so many online that are like these 3-inch statues that go for like $8. Because I'll see the price and I'll be like, oh, $8 is a good price. I'll look at the like the width and stuff, and it'll be like a $2 or a 2-inch statue, and I'm like, I'm not paying $8 for this.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like the reason I brought you from the British Museum.
Yeah.
I got those for really cheap.
Yeah.
So that was like £2
Yeah.
for those things. So that was super affordable for me to do. If I had gotten that online, it probably would have been $11.
Yeah, probably.
Easy. So I really am trying hard not to like.
It so affordable.
Yeah, I'm trying hard not to like toot my own horn and be like, you should totally buy my art, but I do invest a lot of time, and it's so genuine. Like I know I can be kind of a piece of shit, but when I do art for people, it is so genuine. It is so. I do put my heart into it,
and like you literally go at it. You work so hard. You have canceled like going out and doing stuff with us because you're focusing on your art.
Oh my god, I do art every day. Unless I'm with you guys. Those are like my break days. Yeah. Like when we go like catch Pokemon and stuff. But yeah, I work very hard. I want to make people happy. Like, that's most important for me. Like, is to make people smile. Like, some of the comments I get where they're like, oh man, I printed out your art. I love it so much. Like, I had a guy, who requested an Aztec deity. Oh, and I do requests for free as well. And so, but also if you request it, I'm probably going to use the art over again.
So if you want
if you want special custom art, and that only you can use, you have to pay me extra. But you can request me on either my DeviantArt or my Tumblr. Say like, I want a Akate candle image. I'll be like, yeah, I'll make the image, and you can print it out. Technically, it'll have the watermark on it, or but you will also be able to buy the $750 candle. $7.50. Oh man, I'm twisting my words. Let me tell you.
Yeah, $7.50.
$7.50 for the candle, and it'll have the image on it. It'll be scented. And I try to pick scents that are sacred to the deities.
Yeah.
As well, and that smell nice. Yeah. Like the raw one was sandalwood and orange.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah,
like when I burnt it, it smelled so good.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna set up an Etsy store pretty soon. You'll probably hear about it. And I do pins as well. So it is 6 for $5 and $1.50 each for each individual pin. Yeah, and they're decent sized pin. They're 1.5 inches, so it's a pretty good size. Tiny. No, they're not small. They're not small pins.
They fit on my backpack pretty well. I love it so much. I'm gonna start decorating, and it's bigger than all the other pins I have. Because my pins I got at cons, and con pins are pretty big already. Yeah. But these pins are even bigger.
It's bigger than the ones at Hot Topic.
Way bigger.
That they sell for $2.
Yeah.
And so I really want to make people happy. I love it when people like my art. Anyway, so if you are interested in that, by all means, click my links. Even if you just requested something, I would be totally down for if you requested something and you wanted a pin made of it. Like if you couldn't afford a candle, you just wanted a $1.50 pin, I could do that very easily with the same art. And so I'm super open to requests, super open to commissions. I try to make my commissions affordable too. Full illustration commissions start at $20. But anyway, back to our topic, and we will stay on topic. But yeah, candles. If you are interested, I am totally down to make you a candle of any deity you want, except maybe the poop, which isn't really a deity. Yeah. That's an Egyptian thing. So if you don't recognize the poop, it's because he's so evil we can't say his name.
Yeah, we can't even say.
We can't say his name because we don't want to give him that power.
Yeah, we don't.
So we just call him the poop. You can do research if you want. He's a big mean snake. Tries to eat the sun every day, kind of deal. So he's pretty much. If you asked me to make a candle of him, I would probably say no. But anything else is fair game.
Yeah, pretty much anything else.
Yeah, pretty much anything else. Totally down for angels. Totally down for demons. I don't worship either, but I will make them if you want them, by all means.
Yeah. Anything from Greek mythos or
anything.
Religion. Yeah.
Absolutely anything. Even because the one I made was for an Aztec priest, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was so excited to do it. Now, the sacred scents were kind of hard to find. I had to do a little bit of digging. But he really liked the picture, and that was very exciting. Yeah. So, yeah, request anything.
Also, it's good to let her know beforehand if you're allergic and to any certain smells or whatever. Just
there will probably be lists.
Yeah.
When I actually set up the Etsy store, because they're going to be made to order, so you can pick, between frankincense, sandalwood, lotus, lily. Those are orange. But yeah, so if you're interested, by all means, click the links, request, give me a follow. I really appreciate it. But back to our protection magic. We were talking about wards, right? Wards, very, very simple. Maybe not the strongest. Like I said, they decay very quickly. Jar spells. Jar spells are great. You can combine herbs in them. There's lots of recipes online as well to keep your house and property safe. Those are the kind I usually do, are the house and property ones. I almost exclusively do house and property protection jars, and you can add herbs, you can add You can add salt water. There's all sorts of things you can add. Like I said, recipes online. You can make them yourself very easily. Just come up with, like, say 9 different kinds of kitchen herbs. Put them all together in a jar. Seal it with a black candle. Maybe put a sigil in there. Very effective. Very cost effective.
Yeah.
Very easy to make. You can bury it outside your house. You can keep it in your room. Just very, very good. Very general. Eggshells, by the way. I just remember this. Eggshells are good for protection. Iron, another thing. I have made wards out of iron nails before. Because that's something I know in some traditions, some southern traditions, if you tie to, I think it's coffin nails, which you can actually, it's not necessarily nails from a coffin. You can buy them at some metaphysical stores and also online. But I think it's like you can also make them, and the method of making them, it doesn't involve like going to rob graves. It involves like putting them in a jar with like some ingredients and then like burying it and then like bringing it up in like, I don't know, 13 days or something. And then those become coffin nails, essentially. Like it doesn't involve actual coffin nails. But if you take those and you bind them together in red yarn or twine, in a cross and put that above your door or bury it like below your doorstep or something, that is supposed to keep out evil spirits. And so they sell those charms specifically. I think you can do the same thing with black twine as well, because black obviously is associated a lot with protection. Probably, I don't know if I would do white twine just because I've never seen it before, but I'm sure you could if you really wanted to. And iron, because I had metal shop classes in my school, and what I did is I would take the scraps and I would put sigils on the metal scraps, because metal is supposed to, at least iron in particular, very protective metal, is supposed to ward off spirits of evil, supposed to ward off demons, and I would take these pieces of iron and I would put protection sigils on them. I would write on them in gold, and I'd let them charge in the sun. And then I would bury them at important points in my yard. And that was a good way for me to get rid of the scrap metal, to use the scrap metal for a purpose. And I would I would put eggshells in too, to be like kind of an offering for the earth and also for protection, because the eggshells are good for the earth to grow. So I would do that as well. And witch jars, slightly different than witch balls, different shape. I'm just different procedure as well, different things. Witch jars are actually supposed, if you would do the research, not, I don't know about medieval, but like in the olden days, witch jars were used to ward off witches, and as a witch, that is surprisingly useful. I know that most of the witch jars I use don't necessarily ward off witches, but they ward off their spells. Or I've seen a recipe for one that I've yet to do, but I'm very interested in doing it, where you add in a lot of thorns, needles, thistle. Thistle's good for protection. Nails, sharp things, shards of mirror, shards of glass. You put that in a jar with a tag lock of yours. People say urine a lot. Urine for protection. If you're not squeamish, blood as well. Blood, be careful with it, but if you're down for using it, you can use it. That's not something I'm above. But it's also, there's a lot that goes into it. I've heard some authors speak about that topic, and it can get really intense. So I suggest you do research before that, but other than that, that's not, like, at least for me, that's not a taboo.
I wouldn't use urine, but I would.
I would use urine before blood.
I would use blood.
I mean, all you have to do is pee in a jar.
I know, but like that disgusts me.
Oh really? I have no shame. I'm just like
okay. I'd be like, no, I would rather prick my finger and bleed into
a jar. I would probably put like nails or hair before I did.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
hair.
I would have no shame peeing in a jar. No shame. I would be burying the witch jar anyway. If I peed in it, I would put it outside and bury it. That's another thing with witch jars. You don't want to keep them in your house, because if you keep them in your house and you have a spell targeted towards you, like a nasty spell, the spell will go to you instead of the jar if the jar is too close to you. With that being said, you still want to keep it near you, You don't want to bury it, like, super far away. I guess you could if you were more comfortable with that, but I, like, bury mine outside outside my property line by, like, 2 feet. Like, I keep it close, but not on my bedside table. And what that does, the reason that there are so many sharp things added into said jar is to, in theory, and if you added mirrors, it could reflect the spell back, but it would take the energy of the spell and tear it apart, and protect you in that case. And I obviously have that. I've used the witch jar spell, the protection jar, which sent it back, and that used a lot of herbs. So you can, like, combine these methods to make something very effective. There are no set in stone rules. Nails, sharp things, basically, actually, pretty much anything you can use to curse someone, you can also use to protect yourself. With that being said, actually, blueberries can be used for protection, but also they cause discord if you throw them on somebody's porch, apparently. And there are some things, like, I wouldn't use, like, cigarette butts in a protection spell.
Oh, no.
But, like, you could use those in a curse. So, but, like, there's a lot of overlap, especially with, like, the nails, the sharp things, graveyard dirt. You take dirt from a graveyard, which some people are like, that's a moral gray area for some people. Obviously, I don't care. I mean, like, I take it from the flower beds and it works just as well. I don't have to be taking it from someone's grave.
Yeah, but whenever I go up and ask, like,
yeah, they don't like you. They don't like you taking.
I don't think they like me in general.
Oh, they are. I mean,
I'm like, can I have this? And they're like, no.
Yeah, the ghosts don't like us touching their flower beds, which I guess makes sense because they're pretty. They probably want pretty things around. I mean, like, there are some that I've worked with where I'm like, I feel like I could be like, since I helped you, this is my payment.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Or, like, usually they're pretty chill if you, like, just, like, talk to them. Like, I've heard stories about people, or not really stories because they're not, like, legends. They're, like, people's actual experiences, how they, they'll, like, just, like, chill and hang out with the spirits, and then after a while they'll be like, can I use some dirt from your grave? And the spirits are usually like, yeah. Because, I mean, it's just dirt. Of course, in the moral gray area, don't actually rob the graves. There was a huge thing on Tumblr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because bones are another thing. I'm not so sure about, you can use this.
Alright, cool, because mine's at 20%.
Heck yeah, man, you can charge. She just took my phone charger, so that's what the commotion was. Bones. Bones.
Yeah, that she was, like, stealing bones from...
Yeah, bones can be used in protection, but, like, don't steal human bones. That's like, wrong on a lot of levels. Like, there's a lot of things where I'm like, I don't mind. But, like, when you just take someone's body without their permission, I'm like, that's not okay. That's not okay at all. Like, even taking the dirt from someone's grave, you have to ask first. If you're getting a huge angry vibe when you try to reach for it, don't do it. There are even some graves in that graveyard that, like, I get the vibe that I shouldn't even walk over that grave.
Yeah.
Because they don't want me to. And if that's the case, I'll go around. And then there are others where you can, like, lay out on their grave and they won't mind. But there are some that get very agitated when you walk over the graves. And if that's the case, I'm respectful of their wishes. You need to be respectful. Like, don't take people's bones. Don't do it. Other things, for protection, mirrors. People use a lot of mirrors to reflect negativity away. Yeah. And then you have the evil eye charms as well, which the evil eye is, like, a specific thing that you get. Like, it's a look. In America, we call it the stink eye.
Yeah, we're just like...
Yeah. We don't call it the stink eye. We call it the evil. Or we don't call it the evil eye. We call it the stink eye. But it's actually considered a curse. And so there's a lot of people who go out of their way to protect specifically against the evil eye.
Geez, no wonder why my math teachers have a bad day. I glare at them when I was little. I would yell like,
oh my god.
Grr.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? But you can use that. That's a little bit more specific. Candles, as we mentioned earlier, black candles. You can buy loaded candles. You can add your own herbs to a candle, to, like, protection herbs. You know, you got your clove, you got your basil, rosemary, thyme, all that stuff. Add it to your candle. That should help. Sprinkling powders. You can grind up herbs and salt. And I think, did we talk about powders a little bit earlier?
Yeah. Did we?
We might have like talked about herbs and
We might
salt.
have glossed over.
Yeah, but that's something I do. I use a lot of powders. That's like
Yeah.
it's like because what I do is I don't like to. I can't really afford to pay for a lot of herbs unless unless it's something I really need. Like vervain, which I have no idea if it grows around here. I had to.
I believe there's capsules of it in like a health store, and you can just like pop it open.
Oh yeah, but I think it's cheaper for me to just buy the herbs. Actually,
I think I actually have vervain in
Oh,
like
do
a
you
jar,
really?
like full from
man.
the capsules because he.
Is it valerian or vervain though?
I don't know.
Because I have valerian tablets for sleeping.
Yeah.
And those are different. But like the things I can't pick, I will pay for. But if I can pick it, I will.
Yeah.
Like because like I said, I can't really afford to.
Oh God, no! They can be expensive.
They can be so expensive.
And it's just like you can find this stuff around the area, especially if you live in a rural community.
Yeah, we live in a pretty rural community. But yeah, there's also the good thing about herbs. Not to go on and on about herbs, but they're really good for sprinkling powders. You can grind them up and you can sprinkle around the borders of your house to like add protection. Do the windowsill thing like you would do with salt, but with herbs powder instead. You can charge it in sunlight. I suggest charging an herb mixture. It'll work better from my experience anyway. And I usually just use the sun unless it's like, there are some things that I exclusively use moonlight for like divination tools. I will use moonlight. But if it's just like a sigil or like just some random sprinkling powder, I will use sun to charge it.
Yeah.
And so they will, I mean, from my experience, like I said, they'll work better. I probably will post later on my Tumblr, like, recipes. I have plenty of recipes for sprinkling powders. And what else? What else are we going to talk about? You can enchant objects. You can enchant jewelry to protect you and stuff.
I've done that before.
Keat and Liz actually made me once. They made me a protection pouch because they knew how my apartment was just like swarming with all sorts of critters.
Yeah.
So they made me. They gave me a black pouch, and they added bay leaves, cinnamon maybe.
Yeah.
A garnet. I might have added the garnet. I use garnet a lot. Garnet is one of my favorite gemstones. If you wear a garnet, you will rule the world. I swear by that stone. Sage, you added a sigil, you added you added a piece of my hair, or I might have added it because I don't think that you took a piece of my hair.
No, Keat might have done that though.
Yeah, I don't really like when I first started. I was like, yeah, I'm not taking someone's hair, and now I'm just like, I would take someone's blood. I have no shame at all.
Be like, can I get a vial of your blood?
Yeah, pretty much. Or like if they I don't know, bled on a napkin or something, and they had a nosebleed and they wiped it off, I'd take that shit out of the garbage.
Yeah.
I'd have no shame. Honestly, I don't. We're running out of time, and like we mentioned earlier, I know we've gone off topic a lot, but I feel like you can still learn from our off-topic stuff.
Yeah, definitely, because our off-topic stuff
it's still kind of in the realm of witchiness, and I love listening to people talk. Anyway, there's a lot more you can go into. We could talk about guardians, you can make thought forms, spirit guardians that you can make, which I think that kind of stuff warrants a whole episode because that's something I absolutely love. I love learning it.
Oh yeah, Keat has lion.
Yeah. There are full-blown rituals you can do. I did one the other day that involved all of the cardinal points on the compass, and 4 candles and and some seashells. Shells good for protection. Obviously, they protect the animals that live in them. And I used that, and I combined herbs, runes, not sigils, but the runes themselves. I don't have a lot of luck with Norse and Celtic runes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people use them. I don't, because even when I've tried recently, it hasn't really worked ash as well is very excellent. The ash of Litha is good for protection. That's like that specific night. If you save the ash from that fire, it is great for protection. And obviously you can make decoys and stuff, which generally involves a jar spell of some kind, but you also like make a decoy of yourself, and put like a tag lock, like a piece of hair in the doll, make it look like you, and put it surrounded by salt. And so any spells targeted at you will go to the decoy. There's so much more we could talk about. We can talk about protection because we mostly go over like household protection, magical protection and stuff, but like you can do invisibility charms to like protect you if you're socially anxious. Like you can do glamours. Glamours was something I wanted to go over, and we probably won't have time to do it. But like doing a glamour to protect yourself is something a lot of people do. I've seen people, I've never personally done this, but I've seen a lot of other people do it, where they put like a very small jar or vial on a necklace, and they do like a mini jar spell, and they carry it around with them.
That's
and
so
it is cute. I don't know where they get these tiny jars, because I have been looking
probably
for
at like
craft stores.
Yeah, because I know a few. Because he like has a few tiny jars.
I need to go to a craft store eventually. I've been meaning to.
Yeah,
or Joann's or something. We should go together at some point.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, hecky. Iron stuff. I mean, I think I actually made like a master post of this at some point, like items you can add to protection jars or protection spells, because there are so many. Protection is one of the things that is most used in Magic. If you follow my blog, it's like 80% protection spells, because I always feel like I need to do something new, which hopefully the thing I did a few days ago will like kind of make sure that doesn't happen. Oh, the Reiki master we were talking about last episode, he told me that what he did was he like redirected the energy from a river through his household to charge his wards.
That's pretty cool.
So he never had to do it again. He said it was a very like intense thing. Like he found all sorts of rare gemstones and put it in a crystal grid, and he buried them on the important points of his household. But he said like this was stuff he had to like search for. Like this wasn't just hematite and black tourmaline. This was like some pretty intense stuff. Maybe like a moldavite or something, which is a meteor, by the way. A moldavite is a meteor, and I've heard great things about it, and I want one, but I'm not willing. I can't afford to pay $20 for a rock right now. Maybe for my birthday, maybe I'll ask for like, can you please just buy me a rock, please? My mom's gonna be like, I'm not paying for a $20 rock the size of a penny. Be like, it's super, super cool. I've heard good things about it, but it's a meteorite too. Yeah. So there's like, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, I'm gonna save up for that one someday. Maybe I'll like walk around, pick up change off the ground or something. I'm sure I'll be able to afford it eventually.
With time.
And maybe if I sell a few of those candles, I can invest in a rock. Amazing.
No, I can just buy it for you for your birthday.
Oh, Keith said the same thing. You guys are too generous.
Like, we could just buy it. I mean, like, you need to save up that money for, like, other expenses.
I don't really, though.
But, like you do, because you need a job.
Kinda true.
It's very true. Like, you're a poor art student.
I am a poor art student. We're both poor college students.
Yeah, we're both very poor, but you're even more poor than I am because I have a job.
I'm trying to sell myself. I am. I think it's worth, like, I'm very, very happy with the success that my art stuff has, because, man, I thought nobody would want my art.
Your art is so good, though.
You're too kind. So like, I look at all these other artists and I'm like, oh my god, I'm terrible.
No, like, in comparison, I think you're one of the best out there, probably.
You're too kind. You're gonna bring tears to my eyes, my dear.
Like, if I want good quality art that I know is gonna work, I go to you.
I try my best. I do.
Yeah.
I try my best, but sometimes it's just, well, a lot of these artists have like 10 or 15 years on me, so I try not to beat myself up over it, but it's like the all artists have to deal with, like, the struggle.
The lack of, the experience gap.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, we hope that you enjoyed these 2 segments about protection magic, and hopefully you learned a little bit and weren't too put off by our random conversation. We hope that you were able to learn, And all jokes aside, we are very, very thankful that you tuned in to watch our podcast. Hopefully we'll be uploading podcasts more often, and hopefully you're able to learn some things and you're not too put off by my vulgar jokes. Anyway, thank you so, so much. May light and balance bless your day, genuinely. Thank you for listening. This is Het, signing out, and...
This is Chen, Uncle Jasaneb.
Uncle Jasaneb, thank you so much.